Okay, everybody, we're back. This is going to be section 5.3, which is a continuation of 5.2. I guess mostly what we're going to do here is go a little further and use Venn diagrams. And the examples I'm using really do not follow what they've got in the book. Same material, just different examples. Okay, and I got 5 examples. Example 1. Marketing surveys. A leading mobile home service provider advertises its services in 3 magazines: Cosmopolitan, People, and Time. A survey of 500 customers by the mobile phone service provider reveals the following information. So out of the 500, 180 like Cosmopolitan, 200 learned through People, 192 Time, 84 Cosmopolitan and People, 52 Cosmopolitan and Time, and 64 People and Time. This is an old example. I don't even know if those magazines are in existence anymore. So, first of all, from what we learned last section, symbolically, I could say the number that were Cosmopolitan was 180. Hold on a second. And if I went down a line, so the number of People would be 200. The number for Time would be equal to 192. Cosmopolitan and Time, this is the number of C and, actually it should be P. This would be the number of C and T. I'm getting off. The number here would be People and Time. And here it says all 3 of them. So this would be the number of Cosmopolitan and People and Time, if you wanted to think of it that way. I'm putting that in because that comes into play a little bit later on. Okay, so we got 2 questions. The questions are, how many of the customers saw the manufacturer's advertisement in at least one of the magazines? So out of all that information, can you give me the answer? The answer is probably not. Number 2 says, how many of the customers saw the manufacturer advertisement in exactly one of the magazines? Okay, so here's what we got to do. We've got to come up and draw a Venn diagram. So Venn diagram, and we're going to have 3 circles on this one. One's for Cosmopolitan, one's for People, and one is for Time. And when you're doing these, it doesn't really matter which circle goes where. I usually go in the order. So if, in this case, Cosmopolitan came first, that's my first circle here. This would be my second one. That's why I said that's People, and then the third one's down here. Now, we need to fill in our numbers. Okay, this is the hardest part. Always start on the inside and work your way out. So this little triangular shape, it's not really a triangle, represents all of them that did all 3. That was the last number that we had here. This number is going to be 38. And as it works out, if you just work up, 64 learned of the service from People and Time. Here's People, there's Time. So now I call this the football shape. So inside of this shape here, there's 64. But I've already got 38 of them. So if I take 64 and I subtract 38, that's going to give me 26. That means I'm going to have 26 right there. The next one up, I got 52 for Cosmopolitan Time. So that would be the football shape area here. Okay, so that would be 52 altogether. But I've already got 38 of them. So it's going to leave you with 14. I'm going to put a 14 right here. And then working up to the next one, I know this area, this is cosmopolitan and time, so there's 52 altogether. So if I take 52, subtract the 38 I already have, and I got something wrong. Oh, that number was 84. So 84 minus 38, and that's going to be 46. So in here, I'm going to put a 46. In time, there's 192 altogether. So if I take 192, and I've already got 14 here, so I got to subtract 14, and I'm going to subtract 38, and I'm going to subtract 26. Okay, and I'm going to get my calculator real quick. I could probably do that in my head, but I think I'm going to do it this way. And I got 114. That means this number right here is going to be 114. For people, there was 200 altogether. I'm going to have to subtract 46. I'm going to have to subtract 38. I'm going to have to subtract 26. And I got 90. So that means there's 90 altogether in here. And then for cosmopolitan, there was 180 altogether. And I'm going to have to subtract the 46 here, the 38 here, and the 14 there. And I believe that's 82. I did that in my head. I hope that's right. Now, there's one other number, and I don't know if we're going to need it, but what if somebody said they didn't choose any of them? That number would be out in here. So if you start out with, there was 500, if you go back up here, there was 500 altogether. Take that 500 and just subtract all of these. Minus 82, minus 46, minus 90, minus 14, minus 38, minus 26, and minus 114. Let's see what we get. Give me a second. I came up with 90. So there's 90 people that would go out in here that really, they didn't get anything from any of the magazines. Okay, now that you got your Venn diagram, let's see if we can answer the questions. How many of the customers saw the manufacturer's advertisement in at least one of the magazines? That means it could have been any one of the circles, but it's basically the sum of all those numbers. I don't have that number right now, but there was 500 altogether. And there was 90 out here that was none of them. So that's going to be 410. Now you should get the same thing if you add all those numbers up inside. You should get the same answer. Okay, and then question number 2, how many of the customers saw the manufacturer advertisement in exactly one magazine? Well, all these numbers here, if you look at this one, these 82 people here saw the advertisement only in Cosmopolitan. Now these 46 saw it in 2 of them, so you could not count those. Any of the overlap you can't count. So really, it's the 82, the 90 for people, and the 114 for time. So if I just simply add those together, 82 plus 90 plus 114. I believe that's 286. Yes, I believe that's it. But that's how you do that. It all went back. We came up with a Venn diagram. We fill out the numbers, and then you go back and answer the questions. Okay, example 2. I know you guys already got these on your, from the outline that you found in ACE. Okay, at a shopping mall, 190 adult drivers were selected at random and were asked whether they enjoyed driving a minivan or a car. And the results showed that 110 enjoyed driving a car, 90 enjoyed driving a minivan, and 30 enjoyed driving both. Okay, so we're going to draw a Venn diagram. I'll put it up here. And on this one, we're only going to have 2 circles. Kind of looks like the MasterCard in the commercial, doesn't it? And that's where they got it from. Okay, we have 2 things. We have driving a car and a minivan. Remember, you always start with the overlap area, the part inside. And that's down here. Car and minivan. There's going to be 30 people here. Going up, the next number is 90. 90 enjoyed driving a minivan. Well, there's 90 altogether. And if I subtract the 30 that I had, that means the number that goes in here is going to be 60. Same thing over here for the car. We knew there was 110 total, but I've already accounted for 30. So when I subtract that, that means this number is going to be 80. And let's go ahead and get the outside number. So if I take the 80, the 30, and the 60, and I add those together, that's 170. The total was 190, so if I take 190 and I subtract 170, that's going to be 20. That means there's 20 out here. Now we can answer the questions. Number 1, how many people did not enjoy driving a car or a minivan? Neither one of them. That's the 20 on the outside. These 20 out here did not enjoy either one of them. Number 2, how many people enjoy driving a car? So that means we're in the car, but not a minivan, so I cannot count those. That's going to be 80. Number 3, how many people enjoy driving a minivan but not a car? So here's the minivan circle, but not a car, so I got to exclude those 30. That leaves 60. And then how many people enjoy driving a minivan or a car? So either one works. That means anything inside the 2 circles. So if I take 80 plus 30 plus 60, and I did that down here, that's going to be 170. So this one says this is really the number in minivan or car. So I'm basically just going to add all those together to get the answer. Okay, I got to quit for a minute, so this will end part 1. I'll come back and get part 2 in just a little bit. Thank you.